The first couple of days of camp are always exciting, especially when you're with a new team. Still trying to learn the layout of the clubhouse here, the format, and just trying to get to know my teammates. So I'm grabbing one or two guys a day and trying to dive into them a little bit more and get to know them, and just try to do it like that rather than get a little bit from everybody every day and end up asking the same guys the same questions as we go through camp. I'm really trying to take my time meeting these guys. Definitely. I mean, I'm a guy as well that has multiple pitches. He's got a handful more than me, and I thought I had a lot. But I'm throwing 6 pitches, and we tend to, some stay real strong, some start to fade throughout the season. So being able to talk to him and find out what he's doing to manage, 8, 9 pitches that he has and how he keeps all of them sharp from outing to outing is one of the biggest things I'm trying to pull from him. But his experience, man, he's been around so long. He's played on the big league, the World Series stage. He's bounced around a couple of organizations, so he knows what it's like to be the new guy in a clubhouse. So me and him kind of have that in common. And I've seen him play a lot. When I was with Houston, I played against him in LA. When I was with Pittsburgh, I played against him a ton in Chicago. So we've watched each other from afar for quite some time now, but it's nice to be in the same clubhouse and be able to, get that one-on-one with him. I think they have every expectation of coming to games if they are allowed to. My sister's she works at Costco, and she sets a schedule, so she gets a little bit of freedom to kind of pick her off days where she wants. So she's real religious about sitting down at the start of the calendar year and looking at our schedule and marking out which road trip she wants to make. When I was in Pittsburgh, obviously I had to fly out there for home games, but being in San Diego now, they'll be there a lot more often than they have in the past. But they like to go to road games, and that's where I like to have them. When we're on the road, it's nice to be able to have something to do in a city that you're not familiar, take your family out and go enjoy things together for the first time. So I've been to every ballpark now, but being in a new division, getting to visit some of these places more often, I'll get a chance to really dive into each of those cities. So they plan on making it out to games. Both my grandmothers haven't been able to see me play in person other than the few games that we've had in San Diego. So that's what I think I'm most excited about, is that they'll be able to come to all the home games and watch me pitch like they did when I was in high school. So,
hey, is it sinking in yet that you're going to be pitching for your hometown team?
Yeah, man, I think putting on that jersey for the first time the other day was pretty special, and just hearing all the feedback from my family and friends about how good it is to see me in a Padres uniform, and they've all supported me nonstop regardless of where I've been. But the sport feels different now that I'm wearing a jersey that everyone actually wants to support, and not that they're just supporting because I'm playing there. So yeah, I'm sure once I get into the stadium and I hear my walk-up music in a home stadium. I listen to Tribal Seeds. That's been my walk-up music since I got into professional baseball in their group out of San Diego. I'm really close with Tony Ray, who's in that band, and just being able to hear that play in a home stadium in San Diego in a Padres uniform with my family and friends in the stands is going to be really exciting. So it hasn't hit me 100% yet, but I don't know when it's going to ever stop. I think every time I'm experiencing something new for the first time in San Diego, I'm going to get that feeling.
Do you like the brown better than the blue?
Dude, my favorite Padres uniforms were the blue and orange.
Okay.
But now that I've gotten to put the brown and yellow on a little bit, I'm a big fan of it.
Joe, what do you remember from the first time Tatis tagged up on an infield pop-up? You were on the other side of it, and what was your kind of reaction to it then?
Dude, I mean, I kind of anticipated it. It sounds like I'm lying to you, but I'd watched him play, man, and he was a guy that reminded me a lot of how Harper was when he first came up into the game. Wanted to make an impression and was flying all over the field. A guy that's aggressive and looking to take an extra 90 feet whenever he could. But I mean, being on the other side of that, it was hard to watch, I guess. But he's fun to watch play, man. I mean, I think any big league player, you understand how hard it is to get here and how hard it is to be successful at this level. So watching a kid that's 22 years old doing it like he's been doing it for 10 plus years is extremely impressive. I'm just glad to be on the same side as him now.
Hi, Joe. Did you pick the 44 because of Jake Peavy?
I did. 59 was a number that I was just given when I came up to the big leagues. Mm-hmm. And me and my dad had always talked about, how cool it would be just to have a big league uniform, and be in a big league clubhouse and have a locker, and just super grateful to even be in the big leagues and have a number. And when I got up, there wasn't very many 59s around the league that were well known. So I kind of saw it as my chance to make that number something special and, be the guy that's known for wearing number 59. And when I came over to San Diego, I know Paddock had the number, and, I mean, the numbers are just numbers to me. It's, it was something that I had cool with my last name. I had worked the 5'9" in as the SG in Musgrove, but coming to San Diego, a chance to wear 44 and represent, a little nod to Jake Peavy, who was my favorite pitcher growing up. The guy that I watched and just how not only the way he pitched and performed, but just who he was and the way that he carried himself on the field. I was a very emotional and energetic player as a kid, and my dad really instilled in me to be respectful and to not show up your opponents and just play the game the right way. And I always kind of wanted let a little bit more out than he wanted me to. And going to Padre games and seeing Peavy, snot flying and grunting and fist bumping, that was just kind of who I felt I was as a player. And seeing a big leaguer at that time doing the same thing kind of gave me the confidence to go out there and be myself and play the game I wanted to. So it's pretty special for me to wear 44, and I know there's a lot of expectations with it, and I got to do the number right. So I'm gonna do everything I can.
I'm so sorry. Speaking
That's all right. That's all right.
Speaking of PV, I mean,
What's up, buddy?
Padres had to move him because of cost cutting. Did you ever think to be a part of a Padres team that is spending the way they have, especially with this latest with Tatis?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I kind of lost you a little bit there, but I think I got it. Yeah, I mean, these jobs that these GMs have is not easy. You got to look to build a team that's going to be sustainable and a team that can be good for a while. Everyone wants to win a World Series, but you win one World Series and then you're irrelevant for the next 15 years. It ain't that, there's not much good about that. So, seeing what they did when I went to Houston in 2012, we were the worst team in baseball. And in the matter of 5 years, we win the World Series. So I got to see the transition of that league and how they traded for the right guys and, moved guys around, drafted right, changed the entire, construction of the minor leagues and how they were, teaching their guys coming up when it came to throwing programs and recovery and arm care stuff. Just a complete flip in the organization. And I feel like I've been watching from afar. Obviously, I haven't been inside and seen the workings from the inside, but it seems like something very similar has been going on here. And over the last couple of years, me and my dad still talk like we're Padres fans. So he's always, hitting me up saying, "Do you see this latest move? What do you think of this? What do you think of this?" So it's exciting. And I mean, this is kind of what you want. You put yourself in a situation to where, they felt like last offseason they were missing one piece and it was starting pitching. And then to see them go out and make those moves and bring the guys in, I mean, there's no excuse now. We got all the pieces we need here to win. Now it's just about us going out and doing it.
Hey, Joe, as a National League pitcher, how did you enjoy not having to hit for yourself last season, and how do you feel about the likelihood that you will have to, again this season?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up a baseball player, man. I didn't really start pitching until high school, so I always considered myself a pretty good hitter. I love running the bases. I love just being involved in the game. I kind of see myself as an old school player. I don't see myself as just a pitcher, and we get to play once every 5 days. So when I'm on the field, I'm trying to do as much as I can to help a team win. So I was kind of bummed out about not getting to do it last year. I feel like I had, 2 seasons of hitting under my belt, and I was starting to get a feel back for what it felt like to see live pitching, and not just live pitching, but, the best pitching you're going to see in the world. So I felt like I was getting a little bit sharper, and then having that taken away was kind of a bummer. But, there's pros and cons to it. In the National League, when you have to hit as a pitcher, that 4th, 5th inning comes around and you're spotting the lineups coming up and it's a tie game with 2 runners on, the odds of you getting to stay in there and hit and continue to pitch and get your 5, 6, 7 innings in, it becomes less likely now that we didn't have to worry about that last year. I had a chance to go out there and just pitch, and, I found myself going deeper into games more often, not having to worry about pinch hitting or, someone taking my spot. So there's positives to both sides of it, but I've always enjoyed National League Baseball because it's, it's your best 9 versus our best 9. And, if you have a pitcher that can swing the bat well and get his bunts down and can run a little bit, that's an advantage that you have as a player or as a team. So I've always enjoyed being able to hit, and, working here the last couple of days, seeing the importance that they put on pitchers knowing how to bunt, how to run bases, making sure that we're, getting dialed in with our swings. I feel like we can really take advantage of some other teams in that area. So.
Since the trade, have you envisioned yourself going yard at Petco in front of your family?
I would love my first one to be at Petco. Second deck at Western Metal, maybe.
Fair enough. Thank you.
Project 34 shirt there from Trevor. Wanted to
Yes.
ask you something kind of along those lines. You worked with Landis Sims over the offseason. Can you an amazing story what this young man has? Can you kind of tell me what was that interaction like with him? What were you able to work with him about? And do you think that he has the ability to make that high school team?
Yeah, a big shout out to Eric Cochran, who's a producer of a lot of different documentaries. Some Nat Geo stuff, some baseball related stuff, and sports stuff. But I met him a handful of years ago when I was with Houston. He was working on a little project covering the Astros, and we stayed in touch over the years. And he hit me up this offseason and said, "Hey, I got this kid that I think you would love to meet, and I would love for you to just talk to him. And I think that your mentality and the way that you approach life and approach the game would really rub off on him in a good way." So I didn't know anything about Landis. He sent me a link to the documentary that he's working on right now. And I did a little research of my own on him, and he came out to San Diego before I came out here to spring, and we got to work with him. Everything from just playing catch to he wants to be a second baseman, so we kind of worked all the things that a second baseman at the high school level would need to know. How to turn double plays, proper footwork, and I mean that kid is the best possible example of someone that has mental toughness and fortitude to be able to get over any obstacle. That he's faced so many different things and issues in his life, and he's found ways to make them work. He just adapts to whatever situation he's in. And I feel like I took more away from that day than he did. I mean, I felt there leaving. I left there feeling like a different person. And the one thing that I stressed on him was that life rewards those who start. And, you can't be afraid to take chances. You're going to fail, and you're going to fail a lot more than you're successful sometimes. But those that are afraid to actually start and give things a chance, will never be able to find out what they're capable of. And, they're all things that I don't think, he's never heard. He's obviously found these things out on his own, and he's adapted and found ways to do everything in life that your average person can do. So it really touched my heart to work with him and just see his parents, even, the way that they care for him and all the effort and time that they've put into making sure that he has every chance to achieve what he wants to achieve in life was really special. So another thing about coming to San Diego is really cool that Challenge Athlete Foundation is based out of San Diego, and I'll be able to do a lot more work with them now throughout the year. And I really hope to be able to stay in touch with Landis, as he goes into this high school journey.